Zabin City.
ナビゲーターキリコに案内され、試験会場であるここザバン市に到着していた。
Bit of a carnival festival atmosphere.
有能なハンター志望者を見つけ、試験会場まで案内するのが仕事なのさ。さあ一本どうだい。ザバン名物パンダガエルの姿焼き。
Khan's ready.
栄えた町にはそれだけ怪しいやつや荒くれ者も流れてくる。うわ
The sights and sounds of the unknown. It's exciting. It is.
あそこの建物だな。
It's going to look just like any other building.
高い。すごく立派な建物だね。
Okay. It's quite tall, but
君たち。こっちこっち。ここだよ。
ah.
おいおい、冗談きついぜ。どう見たってただの定食
Hold
屋
on,
じゃねえ
hold
か。
on. You gotta go in first and see.
ここなら応募者が数百万と
Yeah.
言われているハンター試験の会場だとは誰も思わないだろ。
確かに。
ご注文は
目から鱗が落ちるような
I love it.
3人前。
3人前ね。焼き方は
弱火でじっくりコトコト飽きるまで。
Look at those eyes, man.
奥の部屋どうぞ。
ここで待て。
待てって。
Gotta love the wide angle.
ステーキ定食楽しみだね。ゴン、あれはこの部屋に通してもらうための合言葉さ。
じゃ、頑張ってな。
ありがとう。
君たちなら来年も案内してあげるよ。
あんたやら。あれじゃまるで俺たちが今年はやらねえみてえじゃねえか。
3年に1人だそうだ。
何が？
ルーキーが合格する確率だ。
え？
そんなに少ないんだ。中にはテストの過酷さに心身ともにボロボロになるもの、ベテラン受験者に潰されて二度とテストを受けられなくなったものなどもザラらしい。
ハンターはこの世で最も儲かる仕事なんだぜ。
違う。ハンターこそこの世で最も
Ah, I like it.
なのだ。
ええかっこしいめ。
金の亡者め。
Glory Hunter, eh? And gone?
世界大富豪ランキングベスト100には毎年必ず50人以上のハンターが名を連ねているんだぜ。
人と自然の秩序を守ることこそハンターの本当の仕事だ。
ハンターになり
Love to switch up in the score.
公共施設ただ
ハードだが数奇な仕事なんだ。
富と名
Ooh.
声、これこそハンターの魅力だ。
深遠な知識と健全な心身。
Gone.
強い
Step
信
in.
念。
Step
そ
in.
れこそがハンターの誇りだ。
ゴン、
お前はどうなんだ。どっちのハンターを目指す。どっちって言われてもな。
Ah. Oh. Boy, look at this. Look at this. Colorful. Colorful.
なんか異様な雰囲気だぜ。
港や町にいたハンター志望者と
Yeah, these are
明らかに違う。
a level above.
全員が何らかの達人に違いない。なんかみんなピリピリしてる
Yeah.
ね。
It's no time to make friends, apparently.
番号札をお乗りください。
Mr. Jellybean over here.
はいどうぞ。よ
There's a friendly one.
ことわかるの？
まあね。やった。何しろ俺35回もテスト受けてるから。
35回？
Keep at it, my
まあ
guy.
試験のベテランってわけだよ。
You could.
言われることじゃねえよな。
ありがとう。
He looks like a friend.
待ってんだ。
Tonpa.
こっちはクラピカとレオリオンだよ。
Krapika.
トンパさんみたいに何度も試験を受けている人って他にもいるの？
まあ俺ほどのベテランはいないが、
I love his attitude.
191番武術家のボドロ。
ボドロ
年は取っているが武術において右に出るものなし。
Who's this? Hey. Oh my god.
あら不思議。
Oh, there's a clown?
消えちゃった。種も仕掛けもございません。
I like him. I like him.
気をつけようね。人にぶつかったら謝らなくちゃ。
I am a Buggy the Clown enjoyer after all, so psychopath.
ということは去年もいたのか。
44番記述師ひそか
Hisoka.
合格確実と言われながら
But then
試験官を半殺しにしたやつ
そんなやつが今年も堂々とテストを受けられるのかよ。
当然さ試験官もテスト内容も毎年変わるしテスト内容は試験官が決めるとにかくやつはみんなから
I like him. I like him.
近づかねえ方がいいぜ。
確かにヤバそうなやつだ。
Hold on.
ちょうど喉が渇いてたんだよ。
ありがとう。
始まった親切面しやがって
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on, careful, careful.
お前らに渡したそのジュース
No.
超強力下剤入り
Someone's gonna stop them.
一口飲めば3日は
Who's gonna stop him?
ノンストップジェットコースターだ。なきゃテストを受けられねえぜ。
No one? And here I was thinking he's friend coded.
ドンパさん、このジュース古くなってるよ。
Ah, his instincts.
マジか。あぶねえ。
バカな。あの下剤はほとんど味も匂いもしないはず。
This is gone though.
山とかでいろんな草や芽を試し食いしてるから、
Yeah.
だいたい味で変なものがわかるんだ。
くそ、とんだ野菜だぜ。それにしても一体全体今年の新人はどうなってるんだ？声かけた時はすぐ騙せそうな
But then,
や
yeah.
つだと思ったんだが。
Don't judge a book by its cover, my friend.
話。俺忍者なんだよ。え？あ、そう。
忍びの習性でな人からもらった飲食物は喉を通らね
Good,
えんだ
good.
悪いな
Through him, you can kind of gauge the
ただものじゃねえ。うかつに手を出すとこっちが危ね
the growth in the rookies from year to year.
え。187番
Nicholas?
ここにたどり着くまで大変だったの。いいえ、僕の予想したデータ通りでしたね。
A man of
過
numbers.
去のデータから今年の試験会場を割り出しておいたんです。そいつはすげえな。
Offer him the
俺は
drink.
トンパってんだ。よろしく。トンパさんか。
Oh, he's gonna look him up.
新人潰しのトンパさん。何？
It's a new breed. I like it.
その生意気な花すぐにへし折って。
Oh, they're looking at someone.
ねえねえ、トンパさん。さっきのジュース、もっとくれる？
Hey, who's this?
緊張してんのかな？喉乾いちゃって。
Oh, he likes the drinks?
ああ、いいぜ。こいつ、さっき飲んだ下剤がもうとっくに効いてるはず。
They're built different, my guy.
どうなってやがんだ？
He looks friend coded.
これだけ飲めば脱水症状を起こして死んでもおかしくはね
Something tells me he's
心配？
え。
fine.
俺なら平気だよ。鍛えてるから。
Ah.
毒じゃ死なない。
Ooh.
99番キルア。
Killua. Killua.
でもねえぜ、今年の新人たちはよ。
How exciting. Hey.
ただいまをもってハンター受験者の受付
No
時
mouth?
間を終了いたしますではこれよりハンター試験を開始いたします
Transport the cloud. Ah, there he is.
第一次試験404名全員参加ですね
I feel like it's about to be something jarring all of a sudden.
なんだ。
申し遅れましたが私第一次試験試験官の里津と申します
Satots.
これより皆様を二次試験会場へ案内いたします二次ってことは一次はもう始まっているのでございます
Yeah.
二次試験会場まで私についてくることこれが一次試験でございますついてくるただ
No,
ついて
my
くれ
guy,
ば
it's not it. There's something
Why?
else. Oh, great animation here.
なるほどな。
変なテストだね。
Sure is.
さしずめ持久力試験ってことか。
Special kind of
そ
endurance
の
test
ところだ
though.
ぜ。
だがどこまで走ればいいのかわからないのはかなり心理的負荷となる。精神力も同時に試されるわけだ。
I'm sure there's going to be a few dropouts.
つわものくせ者がひしめく中第
Oh no,
一
it's
次
gonna
試
end.
験開始。
I'm really
スタ
into
ー
it,
ト前
man.
に1名脱落しハンター受験者は総勢404名。
Okay, so, before I go any further, I am so happy that this is part of the lineup at this point. I'm having so much fun. So much fun, honestly. It's bringing me back to a really distinct moment in time or in my life. And I'm speaking of early One Piece days. And that's a damn good thing, right? That it's making me feel that. Perhaps even further back. Dragon Ball Z, right? As a kid, it simply does have the it factor, right? It does. 3 episodes in, it just has that hook. It has that allure. And god damn it, they're so good at this, right? It really makes you want to binge it. Sitting here, I really, really want to just get into the next episode almost immediately. They've got it down to an art, right? It's great editing in that sense. Yes, sometimes it feels like it's not long. And yeah, of course, the intros and the extended recaps and then the outros, they do take up a lot of the runtime. But I don't know, they give you just enough that it becomes quite compelling, right? After a certain point, and then, it ends. It hooks you. They know how to keep you hooked, how to keep you coming back for more. Yeah, it's great fun. It really is. As you could tell, I'm really actually finding a lot of these moments quite funny. Now, listen, I'm not sure if some of the things I'm finding funny are funny to many of you as well, right? Maybe it's a subjective thing, because I do think sometimes I laugh at things that maybe other people don't find funny. I don't know, strange things. Sometimes, a really strange thing can make me laugh. It's, humor can also be subjective as well, right? For example, my brothers and I, or even think about you and your own siblings, there is like a built-in sense of humor that only you can really understand, right? There's a portion or a section of it that's been built up over years, right? By being together, by spending years together, decades, right? Growing up. And there's certain things that only you find funny. Maybe you and your siblings. Something that only you kind of get, and others might be kind of going, really? Well, that's funny? They might think it's stupid, or they might think, it's not that funny, or it could be the opposite. Something they might find funny, you and your siblings might not, right? But still, I'm having a lot of fun. There is comedy. There's plenty of comedy in this. So that's another reason I'm really quite happy it is a part of this, right? The tone of this is really quite refreshing to have in the lineup. But, that being said, the tonal dissonance is really quite fascinating as well, isn't it? Especially this episode, there's a few moments. And actually, even in the past 2 episodes, there are a few moments that all of a sudden things get really serious. And then it snaps back. It happened at a few moments in this episode, right? Especially for some of the character introductions as well. Take the introduction for one of the new characters in this episode, Killua, right? Killua. Jolly young fellow, right? At least at first, right? At least that's the appearance he's putting out there, right? Because then it becomes kind of clear that, at a moment's notice, he kind of snaps into something that feels a little bit creepy, doesn't it? And, also beyond that, it's also giving us just a bit of background information, just hinting at it just a little bit, just like how I did for Leorio in the last episode, right? It established that, in fact, he's actually a trained medic, quite a good one at that. So, of course, I'll come back to Leorio and his motives, right? Especially since that information came out in episode 2, right? I think for a lot of this, I think more than meets the eye is really quite applicable to many different things in this anime already. Be it character motivations, be it true selves, be it the tone. You see that it's not just exclusive to Killua either. A lot of these characters, a lot of named characters are introduced in this. And, the two standouts, of course, are Killua and Hisoka, this psychopathic clown, though they called him a magician. Now, he's referring to him as a magician in the sense that it's a thing that exists in that universe or that world, right? So he's able to perform certain things that are unique to him as a magician. I mean, I see some of it on display. Now, it's not made clear if he actually killed the guy or if he just took the arms, made the arms disappear. Now you see it, now you don't. My goodness. So I suppose that's a thing they're referring to, right? It's already down to 404, even though, you see that by design, they show you Gon's shirt and his number 405, but he's saying they're already down to 404. I suppose that's the reason, right? Someone's been disqualified. At first, for a split moment, I thought, oh, did they disqualify Hisoka already again? Because they also mentioned that he killed an instructor last year. And then even the instructors themselves don't appear to be just normal people. This guy, the guy who's got no mouth, who just starts running. And see, that right there is one of those things I found really funny. Him picking up the pace and then everyone else just picking up the pace behind him. But of course, the way he runs is really quite funny as well. But see, that's one of the things I'm not even sure if anyone else found funny, but it really just got me. The confused faces and everyone just kind of, picking up the pace behind him. But then, of course, that in itself is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? I mean, as of this point, it appears to be as simple as just follow me, and then, of course, he picks up the pace. So now they're running. But he does not share anything else. No other information in terms of destination, the duration of this, as Kurapika immediately kind of starts to think about, right? So the fact that they don't have any information, right, it means that a lot of them are not going to know how to pace themselves and perhaps not be in the position to make the choice to employ certain tactics and techniques you might if you knew the destination or the duration, right? So it's interesting. It's an interesting concept if indeed it does remain as simple as keep following him, right? It'll be interesting to see how some people crack up and how some people try to game the system, perhaps, right? Use others, take others down. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But going back to my initial point about instructors or Hisoka killing one, yeah, the instructors themselves are really quite established and impressive from the looks of it, right? They're not just randoms. So Hisoka is really quite capable, really capable. I mean, listen, folks, this character is a bit of a scene stealer already. My face just lit up the moment I saw him. A totally different type of character as well. And, it's by design to introduce this type of potential hunter as well, right? That's another thing they made really clear in this episode. They don't judge. If the instructor thinks you have the skill set required, right? If you fit the bill, they are going to pass you. They don't make any judgment calls on your character, right? If you do happen to be someone of questionable morals, it doesn't matter to them. They're here to judge you on the hunter exam and that only. Simple as that, right? So of course, for that reason, you're going to get a lot of different types of people that are hunters that are going to kind of fall into different categories once they're out there in terms of motivations, in terms of how they carry themselves out there. They're even alluding to hunters having to go after other hunters, right? So, I mean, hunter. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like I've got myself a charismatic clown, a psychopathic charismatic clown, apparently. Now, no one refers to him as a clown, but that was my first impression before they referred to him as a magician. Like I said, I'm really quite the massive Buggy the Clown enjoyer. So, this, you saw my eyes just lit up the moment I saw him. Hisoka, this anti-hero, from the looks of it, I don't know. Even that in itself, as of this point, is maybe generous. I don't know. But the one thing I do know is that this character made a strong impression. The voice, oh my goodness, there is something just so alluring about that voice, isn't it? I just want to see more of him, for sure. And I almost kind of feel like I shouldn't say that because, it might be one of those moments that might get clipped, or someone might point out to me, he's like, remember back then you said you wanted to see more of this guy? Here's more of this guy. But, I'm still quite excited about this character. But going back to Killua, they've hinted at a bit of darkness in there, a bit of it, right? He said he's trained, the poison doesn't affect him. So again, it's kind of alluding to his own, past, the things he's used to, the things he might excel in. But yeah, the point I was making earlier, perhaps a lot of them have this facade on, and perhaps that is the right thing to do, isn't it? Keep your cards close to yourself, right? Make them think one thing, but behind that mask, you're something else altogether, right? You've got Nicholas, right? Kind of almost presented as this goofy, nerdy type, right? At first. And then all of a sudden, he kind of snaps into, I know all about you, right? Even the voice changes. Almost as if this is the real Nicholas. And then he goes back to that public image that he's kind of putting out there. There's that ninja guy. Sorry, I cannot remember the name, but yeah, even he kind of snaps into his real self momentarily, right? And this is as another character is kind of doing the rounds. Tonma? Sorry, no, it's Tompa. I really liked how they utilized this character, right? You're processing a lot of exposition through this character, right? He's kind of like this Link character, isn't he? Almost kind of like the narrator without being the narrator. He's giving, a lot of the information that came out of him or through him is exposition. And I think it's a really great use of it. Because, they've established that he's been there, or this is his 35th attempt. So, right then and there, it immediately establishes that he knows how a lot of these things are inside and out. He knows the people, so he's able to make the introductions. And then, of course, through that, it's for us, the audience, as well. So I really like this approach to using this character, right? And then, of course, now he's seeing that the level is certainly excelling. These newer rookies are most impressive. It really caught him off guard, right? The new batch that came in, the new breed. See, I'm not sure how much longer this character might be around, Tonpa, but yeah, I liked it. I liked his inclusion. But of course, the clash of the philosophies continues as Kurapika and Leorio bat for their interpretation of a hunter, right? Their philosophy of being a hunter. And it actually even felt like both of them look at Gon as the blank canvas, right? That they can kind of pull in and have him come join their philosophy. But that being said, I don't think it's as simple as both of them having these philosophies set in stone. It could be a bit more nuanced than that. Because listen, Kurapika, they told us in episode 1 about his clan getting butchered, decimated by this phantom troop. So vengeance is still on his mind at all times, right? Even if it's not at the forefront, it's there because they set it up. Us audience knows about that. So, there is going to be a time that is going to test him, right? His code or his ethics, his philosophy of being a hunter and, the responsibilities of a hunter. Let's see once the time comes. How is he going to handle it, right? And then on the flip side, you've got Leorio, right? Of course, he's got this obsession since episode 1 with fame and money, but money specifically, riches, right? Fabulous riches. Now, episode 2, like I mentioned earlier, they mentioned or they established that indeed he's a trained medic or something in that field, right? I don't know. Again, is it as simple as just that? That's all he really cares about? Or there's potentially more to it, right? Let's see. This kind of, brings up the potential of any fantastic backstories for any of these characters, even though they've given us a bit, especially for Kurapika. because already over the span of these 3 episodes, they've shown us that there's so much more to Leorio, right? There's these really tender moments from time to time, almost as if he lets his guard down, right? There's a lot of that. See, even on the characters that have been established, Gon is perhaps the only one who doesn't really seem to have any sort of facade. And then, of course, the Hunter license itself. Yeah, this is something that is quite rare, quite elusive, quite a rare commodity. So it'll be interesting to see if there might be some shenanigans down the line, perhaps. What if you get it stolen? Is someone actually able to use someone else's license, right? Or is it really just quite unique to each individual hunter, right? Can you sell it? Can you lend it? I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. I'm just not that far into it yet, but I'm still getting a constant drip feed of information. I think I have quite a bit already in 3 episodes' time. I really like the goodbye scene, the navigator and Gon, right? And then, even though Leorio took it as almost like an insult, the navigator is just being realistic. He's been around this for a long time. So, I don't think he meant it as a dig or anything. It didn't even come across like that. The prospect of him being their navigator again the next year, right? If it comes to that, right? He'd be honored to do it. And again, he's just being realistic, right? And, the numbers that they're throwing out there, the possibilities or the probabilities. So essentially everyone that is down there, that's a tough bunch. That's essentially the best of the best. For them to actually make it that far. So even if a few of them do look goofy, they're still masters at their craft, right? As Kurapika stated earlier, as they do come in the first time and kind of, scope out the competition. But yeah, I think that should do it for this one, folks. Really enjoyable, really fun. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, giving your thoughts. If you're interested in early access to the next few episodes right now, or perhaps even timer-based full length, consider checking out the Patreon page and potentially supporting the channel. If you're interested, the links are in the description and the pinned comment. Also links to social media, things like Twitter and Instagram, if that's your thing. Right then, thank you so much for joining me, folks, and thank you for your time, because time is precious. It really is. And I do hope to see you again soon for episode 4. Until then, take it easy.